In this video, I'm going to do an in-depth review of the July 2025 BTO launch from their pricing, location, and what are their pros and cons. Let's talk about Simei Symphony. Although officially part of Tampines town, the nearest MRT station is Upper Changi MRT station, which is located right opposite the project. In terms of unit mix, there are 380 units spread across 2-room flexi, 4-room, and 5-room flats. The blocks are only 11-story high due to height restrictions because of its proximity to Changi Airport. Although the project size is not that big, interestingly, this project will be equipped with an eating house, a supermarket, restaurants, shops, and a preschool on the site. In terms of classification, this project will have the standard 5-year MOP, so there is no subsidy recovery clawback and other painful restrictions. Basically, it's just the typical restrictions that we are familiar with. In terms of construction time, this project will take about 42 months, which is somewhere in the middle versus the rest of the other projects in this July sales launch. Now, let's talk about the price. So, here is the price range for each flat type, and I am also adding the nearby resale transactions for reference. Initially, I was predicting that this project will be one of the budget-friendly options in the batch, but man, I was so wrong. If you notice, the gap price between this BTO and the resale price nearby the area is not that big. For 4-room, it's only 14%, and for 5-room, it's only 16%. In fact, if we zoom in and compare the prices for all 4-room flats in this batch, Simei Symphony is priced above $500,000 and are pretty close with the other 4 BTOs that are located in a more central areas such as Alexandra Peaks, Alexandra Vista, Clementi Emerald, and payoh Ascent. This makes the 2 Bukit Merah BTO looks like a bargain compared to Simei Symphony. Yes, they are also more than $500,000, but at least the location is far closer to the CBD area. I think the key reason why the pricing for Simei is not conventional, to put it mildly, is because this project is categorized as a standard BTO, which means that they don't get as much subsidy. And I'm also not sure how big is the radius that they use to define nearby resale flat transactions, because there could be high transactions, but for area that is nearer to Tampines MRT station perhaps, it just feels very off when other standard BTO in the batch are priced around $300,000, and this Simei Symphony is more than $500,000. If the gap price with resale is not that big in Simei area, then why not just buy a resale instead of this Simei Symphony BTO, or pick another BTO project in this batch? Because remember that the higher the entry point is, the lower your potential profit would be if you want to sell your unit down the line after MOP. But for those who really wants to live in the East area, please note that Bedok is going to be on sale in the upcoming October BTO launch. We don't know the price yet, but at least the area have more amenities. Let me know in the comment section down below whether you think the Simei Symphony price makes sense or not. Okay, now let's look at the site plan. So the blocks are parallel to one another, and there is a balance of inward and outward facing units. Some stacks will be affected by the west sun, although not directly, and there are 2 strategically placed drop-off points that will be serving the 4 blocks here. There's also sheltered linkways which connects all the blocks and also the multi-story car park, and then the linkways also connect to the MRT station, so that's good. In terms of lift proportion, so 8 to 10 units will be sharing 2 lifts, which in normal situation I would say that's very limited. But then remember that the blocks here are only 11 stories high, so not that tall, so probably 2 lifts is still okay. There will also be a supermarket, an eating house, a fast food restaurant, some shops, and a preschool within the project, which will add the convenience for residents. But man, the price list for this place is still something that I am unable to accept. Now, let's talk about the location. So, this is the map that was given by HDB. If we try to find the exact spot in Google Map, I think this is it. This is the empty land plot just across the Upper Changi MRT station, so it's definitely within walking distance to the MRT station. There are already buildings surrounding the land plot. So for example, this is the Simei Green condo. You have Park Lumiere over here. But then you also have a landed house cluster. So for example, this one is landed, this one is landed, and this is low-rise building because this is basically Expo. So as you can see, this land plot is basically just behind Expo. Because of this, it seems like if you want to get an unblocked view, I think you can get it even from mid-floor. For example, the one facing the landed cluster over here and here, or facing Expo. If you notice, there's another empty land plot over here but the shape is like triangular and kind of small, so there's a good chance that this won't be built as a high-rise building, although we cannot know for sure. In terms of amenities, mostly are located near the other side of Expo. So you go here. Here, you can find the Changi City Point shopping mall here. This is where you will be able to find fair price, outlet shops, restaurants, and many more. But it is a little bit far. So I believe that most people would be more comfortable taking the bus, although you can take a long walk or even ride bicycle to go there. Alternatively, you can also take the bus to the area near Simei MRT station because it will also have more amenities because the East Point Mall is there. And if you need some healthcare, Changi General Hospital is also around here. I guess this is why this Tampines BTO will have so many amenities on site, such as a supermarket, an eating house, shops, restaurants, and a preschool because I think HDB recognizes that the area is still sparse in terms of amenities. Hence, even though the project is kind of small, only 380 units, but HDB still plans quite a lot of amenities on the site. So this is good for the residents. If you happen to work in the Changi Business Park or the industrial areas near there, then it will be a short commute to work. This area is also suitable if you are working in the aviation industry or need to travel often because Changi Airport is nearby. As mentioned before, Changi General Hospital is also around the area, so that's good. Even though you are not working in any of the places that I've mentioned just now, people who are working there could be your future potential renters or buyers. In terms of primary and secondary school options, there are few options within the 2-kilometer radius, but not many. So for example, here you have the Changkat Primary School, and then you have the Changkat Changi Secondary School. You also have the Chongseng Primary School and also Yumin Primary School. Here you have the East Spring Primary School. So there are some options. And then on top of that, you also have the Singapore University of Technology and Design here, and also the ITE College East. Okay, let's recap what are the pros and cons. What I like about this project is that it is very rentable because it is near business hubs. I'm not referring to the CBD area around Raffles Place MRT station, but rather the Changi Business Hub. You have employees who are working in the Changi Business Park, Changi Airport, Changi General Hospital, etc. Those are a healthy pool of renters should you decide to rent out the rooms or even rent out the whole flat after MOP. It is also located near the Singapore University of Technology and Design, so some of the international students there can also be part of your potential renters as well. And speaking of rental possibilities, what do you know? Although this project is small with only 380 units, but surprisingly, they offered 100 units of 5-room flats. If you manage to secure one of them, technically it is possible for you to convert that extra space as an additional bedroom, subject to HDB's approval and structural review, but usually it can be done. And because this area will be considered remote to some people, I'm guessing that the competition to get a flat here would not be as fierce as the two Bukit Merah BTO, Clementi BTO, or even payoh BTO. The fact that the Upper Changi MRT station is just across the street, that is so convenient. In terms of classification, this project will only have a 5-year standard MOP and also standard restrictions, which means you can rent out the whole flat after MOP and there is no income ceiling for future buyers. The facilities that HDB will build on site should not be taken for granted. For such a small project, they are willing to allocate space for a supermarket, an eating house, shops, restaurants, preschool, etc., which is very, very rare. It will definitely boost the convenience for the residents in the area. If you are the type of person who likes to go to exhibition and trade show, expo is nearby, you can just take a short bus ride or take a long walk. You also have a good chance of getting a flat with unblocked view, even from mid-floor level because the area is surrounded by low-rise buildings on some sides. If you have young children, there are still school options within the 2-kilometer radius, although not that many. On the other hand, since the location is relatively near to the airport, you will need to be prepared mentally to hear airplane noises day and night. If you work in the CBD area, your commute time will be long, more like about 2 hours for 2 ways, but that's more of a Changi problem and not specific to this BTO. Amenities within walking distance are a bit sparse, so you would need to rely on buses to go around, but it's not up to a point that is excruciating. You just need to travel about 1 to 2 kilometers away. In terms of price, probably because they use Tampines benchmark and standard BTOs do not get as much subsidies, the price of this project I think is kinda steep for non-mature areas because the price is just not as affordable compared to Sembawang BTO or Bukit Panjang BTO. So what's the conclusion? The location I can still tolerate because it's near an MRT station. The plane noises, yeah, you'll probably get used to it over time. I also like the fact that there are a lot of amenities on site such as a supermarket, an eating house, restaurants, etc. But I really can't get past that entry price, you know. In my opinion, it's just way too high. HDB, are you sure it wasn't a typo? Because if you have over $500,000 budget for a 4-room flat, you might as well just apply in Bukit Merah or Clementi, or wait for the next BTO cycle. You don't have to force yourself to apply for this project. But I guess if you want to look at it from the bright side, maybe the high price will deter many people and you don't have a lot of competition to secure a unit here. But let me know what do you think in the comment section down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you on my next video. Bye bye.